Phil Hartman was a beloved figure in comedy and television, admired for his sharp wit, versatility, and warm personality. Born in Canada, Hartman became a household name through his work on Saturday Night Live, SNL, where he earned the nickname Glue for being the stabilizing force that held the cast together during his 8 seasons on the show. Beyond SNL, Hartman starred as the pompous radio news anchor Bill McNeil on the critically acclaimed NBC sitcom NewsRadio, completing 4 seasons before his untimely death. He was also well known for lending his voice to several memorable characters on The Simpsons, including the fan-favorite Troy McClure, making him a cherished figure in animation and comedy alike. Off-camera, Hartman appeared to live an idyllic life with his wife Brynn, to whom he had been married for 10 years. Together they raised 2 young children, Sean, 9, and Brynn, 6, while maintaining a busy professional and family life. This picture-perfect image made the tragic events of May 28, 1998, all the more shocking and heartbreaking for fans and colleagues alike. On that fateful morning, Phil Hartman was shot and killed in his bedroom by his wife, Brynn. She fired 3 shots from his .38 handgun, 2 to his head and 1 to his side, while he was asleep. Hartman reportedly died instantly from the close-range wounds. Afterward, Brynn called her longtime friend Ron Douglas and confessed what she had done, though Douglas initially refused to believe her. Eventually, Douglas accompanied Brynn back to their home, where he discovered Hartman's body and called the police. While Douglas was on the phone with authorities, Brynn locked herself in the bedroom and ended her own life by shooting herself in the mouth. Investigations later revealed that Brynn had alcohol, cocaine, and antidepressants in her system at the time. She had struggled with substance abuse in the past but had maintained nearly a decade of sobriety before relapsing shortly before the tragedy. The murder-suicide sent shockwaves through Hollywood, where Hartman was mourned not only for his talent but for his kindness and generosity. The night before the incident, Brynn had gone out for drinks with a friend, television producer Christine Zander. They spent 2 hours at an Italian bistro and made plans to meet again soon, with no indication of trouble. However, when Brynn returned home, she and Hartman engaged in a heated argument. Hartman had reportedly made it clear that if Brynn relapsed into drug use, their relationship would end. Their conflicts often followed a similar pattern. Brynn would escalate to get his attention and Hartman would withdraw, sometimes simply going to sleep to avoid confrontation. Usually, the next day brought reconciliation, but this time it ended in tragedy. The murder occurred in their $1.4 million 4-bedroom home in Encino, California, where the family had lived for several years after moving from New York. At the time, their children were asleep in their bedrooms. Sean later told police he heard what sounded like a door slamming during the shooting, while Brynn was being escorted out by police as Brynn died. The children were left orphaned in the wake of their parents' deaths, a heartbreaking consequence that deeply saddened everyone who knew the family. Hartman was only 49 years old when he was killed, in the prime of his career and life. In an interview earlier that same year, he spoke reflectively about the fragility of life, saying, "I think in my old age I've come to realize just how precious everything is and I try to value the many blessings that have been bestowed upon me. But there's also this sense of vulnerability if fortune took a turn for the worse, and that you live with the awareness that anything could happen in this world." Tragically, those words foreshadowed the unexpected and devastating end he would face. The news of Hartman's death deeply impacted those who worked with him and admired his talent. The Groundlings, the Los Angeles-based improv troupe where Hartman first honed his comedic skills, canceled their scheduled performance that evening. The Simpsons also halted rehearsals in mourning. Friends and colleagues gathered at the home of John Lovitz, Hartman's close friend and fellow SNL alum, to grieve and share memories. They found themselves overwhelmed by sadness and disbelief, unable to fully process the loss of a man who had seemed so vibrant and vital. The shock was compounded by how few people knew of any serious troubles in the Hartman marriage. Rita Wilson, Hartman's co-star in Jingle All the Way, described the couple as a great dad and really good mom, and expressed how uncharacteristic the violent end was for them. The tragedy left many searching for answers but ultimately underscored the unpredictable nature of personal struggles that can hide behind a public persona. Phil Hartman's legacy lives on through his work, his unforgettable characters, and the warmth he brought to those around him. Yet, the devastating manner of his death serves as a somber reminder of how hidden pain and addiction can destroy even the most seemingly perfect lives. His story is one of immense talent and success, overshadowed by a heartbreaking family tragedy that left a lasting mark on Hollywood and fans worldwide.